Liv Morgan's storyline with the Judgment Day continued to take some wild turns this week, so we'll see what's new there. We'll also check out what's new with Uncle Howdy and much more. Starting things off with the new developments for Liv Morgan and the Judgment Day storyline, because a lot of interesting things were going on there. Things all jumped off with Dominik Mysterio walking into the Judgment Day's locker room to find Liv Morgan there waiting for him. She continued to toy and flood Dominik with temptation, explaining to him that she's the better option for him over Rhea Ripley. Liv slipped Dominik Mysterio her hotel room key card and exited the room. Before the camera cut away, Dominik did take the card and place it on the table, sort of signifying that he has no interest in Liv's offer. We then get to see Dominik come clean to the rest of the group about how Liv was in there and what she gave to him. It's shortly after that we see the hotel card sitting on the middle of the table in the midst of a group handshake and everyone's being distracted. It's Finn Balor who clearly slips the hotel key off the table and places it into his jacket without getting busted. Dominik then notices that the card is missing, but the audience is clearly aware that Finn Balor took it. So this is interesting because it definitely leans in the direction of what we're starting to discuss last week. We mentioned the idea of how Liv's entire dynamic and Dominik Mysterio could be a cover-up and distraction for a real plan and partnership that she could be having quietly with Finn Balor. The Dominik situation is just the decoy here, while it's actually Finn and Liv that's quietly becoming the real mastermind power couple behind this entire operation. There's been signs leaning towards Finn and Liv's partnership ever since we saw Liv hop out of Finn's car over a month ago, and now the June 10th edition of Raw really brought it back up to the surface that something is going on between Finn Balor and Liv Morgan. Finn Balor is either playing dumb here with everything going on, maybe he's working with Liv Morgan, or maybe he just really wants to accept all of Liv's bribes and temptations himself. But something is most definitely going on there. And now, seeing the proof of Finn Balor sneakingly grabbing the hotel key for himself, that really makes Finn Balor look bad. It's not like Finn Balor told Dominik that he would hold on to it for him, so that Dominik wouldn't be tempted. It wasn't like that at all. Finn stole the card, and didn't want anyone else to know that he took it, so it's very suspicious. Things with the hotel card did get a bit sketchy. Dominik had it early in the show, Finn Balor stole it, it went missing again. The whole timeline of the hotel card is a bit scrambled, and since it's scrambled, there's no telling if someone actually used the card and went to go see Liv Morgan during the chaos of everything. It doesn't really look like Dominik had any time at all to put the card to use, since he lost and had it stolen from him pretty fast. The person who had it the longest was Finn Balor, and as far as all the Judgment Day members know, they have no idea that Finn even had the card at all. So it's very likely that Finn Balor visited Liv Morgan sometime after the show, and Finn's strange actions there with the card just really opens up the door for him to be guilty and end up being the inside man that's helping Liv with her plan. We know that Liv does want to take Dominik Mysterio away from Rhea Ripley. That's been the big goal. But we also saw Liv Morgan attempting to talk to another Judgment Day member for weeks before everything was going down. So maybe getting Dominik was always the goal, but what if Liv went up to these other Judgment Day members with proposals and ideas for anyone that could help her trap and ruin Dominik and Rhea's relationship? Maybe that's what Liv approached Finn Balor with, and maybe he accepted it to help Liv because he figured that maybe all of this could help himself rise back up to the top of the group and back to the top of WWE. So things could get really scary if Finn Balor fully is working with Liv, or if he's in an actual relationship with Liv. Who knows if Finn Balor really is the one pulling all the strings here, with Liv Morgan to trap and ruin Dominik Mysterio. Maybe Liv Morgan is completely toying with both Finn Balor and Dominik at the same time. Maybe Liv has Finn Balor wrapped around her finger, thinking she's really in love with him. So he's doing whatever she asked for him to do to get through with Dominik. Maybe it's just a massive mind game from Liv to both of them, but it definitely seems like Finn Balor's involved in some way with Liv Morgan's plan right now. Is Liv and Finn's feelings for each other genuine? Well, that's a mystery that we'll have to wait on. And Liv Morgan didn't leave Dominik Mysterio alone after giving him the key card. She once again popped up later that night in the middle of the 6-man tag match to try and talk with Dominik Mysterio. But as Liv was trying to talk to him, she was pushed off the apron and accidentally landed on top of Dominik Mysterio, which she absolutely played into in order to mess with Dominik even more. A lot of fans are giving Dominik Mysterio credit though, because he's doing a pretty good job of standing his ground and just turning down every bit of temptation Liv throws at him. Liv kissed him, jumped on top of him, gave him a hotel room key card, and Dominik had stayed absolutely solid in turning it down. Of course, the big question here is, will Dominik be able to stand his ground forever and stay that way, or will he eventually give in to Liv and possibly even a Finn Balor's plan? But Finn Balor is absolutely the wild card to keep an eye on here, because he obviously knows way more about what's going on than he's putting on. So how long until Finn and Liv potentially get busted themselves with whatever they're up to privately? The Uncle Howdy teasers first started back on April 1st during the post-credits for the Bray Wyatt documentary. And now, over 70 days later, everything is closing in on Uncle Howdy's actual return. June 17th had been the date that was hinted within the teasers for a long time, but on the June 10th edition of Raw, that June 17th got officially confirmed to be Uncle Howdy's return date. The latest QR code teaser featured a simple message that read, "You refuse salvation, the reckoning is inevitable." Along with that message was a countdown that was set to expire on June 17th. Therefore confirming that Howdy and his family will be arriving on that date. So what we do know is that Howdy and the family will be appearing on the Raw brand. Does that mean they're exclusive to the Raw brand? Well, that's still up in the air. His teasers were shown on every single WWE brand, so no one knows if that was a sign that they'll be releasing Havoc on all 3 shows, or if they'll just stay on Raw after all. That we'll have to wait on. The other question is obviously, how will their return be handled? Will it be similar to Bray Wyatt's from 2022, with more of a cinematic styled return that's not really based on attacking someone, but more of just making an epic and memorable scene? It's definitely possible. There's also been hints about a prodigal son that Howdy was interested in. It's unclear who Howdy was referring to though, because there's a lot of names that fit into the prodigal son description. Was he talking about Eric Rowan or Cody Rhodes? Some fans even mention that Drew McIntyre also fits into the prodigal son description, because Drew was fired from WWE, made a name for himself all over the world, and then eventually came back to WWE. So is Drew McIntyre the prodigal son Uncle Howdy will immediately target? And if Drew McIntyre is standing there on June 17th as the world champion, that'll make Howdy's confrontation even bigger, since Howdy will immediately be coming after the world champion. No better way to make a statement than that. It's like we mentioned before, over 70 days of teasers and big talk from Uncle Howdy. It just feels like his first feud back has to be something that lives up to all his talk. Him saying everything about a massacre and revenge only to come back and feud with Awesome Truth or the New Day would be extremely anticlimactic. But the idea of Howdy and his family confronting the new world champion during his celebration sounds like the more ideal arrival for the group. So it's definitely an exciting time since we're witnessing the endgame of Howdy's return rollout. But what are your thoughts on today's wrestling news? Leave your comments below. Don't forget to subscribe with all notifications on, and leave a like if you enjoyed. Thanks for watching, guys.